This new FBI building is being dedicated today to 4 courageous men, men who love their communities, love their families, and their country. From Congressman Benny Thompson, quote, "These young men paid the ultimate price attempting to bring justice and equality to my home state of Mississippi. While the naming of this building pales in comparison to the loss of a son or brother, we hope that the families of these 3 young men will find solace in our acknowledgement of their contribution by naming the latest symbol of justice in Mississippi after their loved ones," unquote. From Senator Thad Cochran, quote, "I am pleased that the memories of the slain civil rights workers and the FBI agent who sought justice for their wrongful deaths will be honored with this new federal building," unquote. And from Senator Roger Wicker, quote, "The whole Mississippi delegation has worked together to name the new FBI building after James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, Michael Schwerner, and FBI Special Agent Roy K. Moore, who helped investigate their murders. It is a fitting tribute." James Earl Chaney was born in Meridian, Mississippi on the 30th of May, 1943, the son of an accomplished plasterer in his father and a dedicated domestic worker in his mother. James was an early supporter of the struggle for civil rights. Chaney was even suspended from school for simply wearing an NAACP badge. After leaving Harris Junior College, he worked with his father as an apprentice plasterer. Chaney had begun volunteer work at the new Congress on Racial Equality, or CORE office in Meridian, October 1963, after a girlfriend introduced him to Matt Suarez, the office's first director. Chaney soon became Suarez's chief aide, guide, and companion. His work ranged from constructing bookshelves at the community center to traveling to rural counties to set up meetings. Chaney, being black, was able to go places white CORE members were afraid to go. To Mississippi whites, Chaney was, quote, "as inconspicuous as an alley cat," unquote. When the Schwerners arrived in January to assume direction of the Meridian office, they found Chaney to be their most willing volunteer. Andrew Goodman was born November 23, 1943, and raised on the Upper West Side of New York City, the middle of 3 sons of Robert and Carolyn Goodman of Jewish heritage. His family and community were steeped in intellectual and socially progressive activism and were devoted to social justice. An activist from his early youth, Goodman graduated from the progressive Walden School. Walden was said to have had a strongly formative influence on his outlook. He attended the honors program at the University of Wisconsin-Madison for a semester, but had to withdraw after falling ill with pneumonia. Goodman later enrolled at Queens College in New York City, where he was a friend and classmate of musician Paul Simon. With his brief experience as an off-Broadway actor, he originally planned to study drama, but switched to anthropology. Goodman's growing interest in anthropology seemed to parallel his increasing political seriousness. Michael Henry Schwerner, born November 6, 1939, and raised in a house of Jewish heritage. He was called Mickey by friends and colleagues. His mother was a science teacher at New Rochelle High School, and his father a businessman. Schwerner attended Michigan State University, originally intending to become a veterinarian. He transferred to Cornell University and switched his major to sociology. While an undergrad at Cornell, he integrated the school's chapter of Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity. He entered graduate school at the School of Social Work at Columbia University. The situation in the South led Schwerner and his wife Rita to volunteer to work for National CORE in Mississippi, where they were then targeted by the KKK after they had taken over a field office there in Meridian. There they established a community center for blacks. Schwerner tried to establish contact with white working-class citizens of Meridian and even went door to door to speak with them. He also organized a black boycott of a popular variety store until it hired its first African American. He was described by family and friends as friendly, good-natured, gentle, mischievous, and full of life and ideas. He believed all people were essentially good. He named his Cocker Spaniel Gandhi. He loved sports, animals, poker, rock and roll, and W.C. Fields. When, in June 1964, these 3 young civil rights workers disappeared in Neshoba County, Mississippi, President Lyndon Johnson picked up the phone and ordered FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover to assemble a massive team of agents to Mississippi to crack the suspected murders and find the missing youths. Though never keen about taking orders from the executive branch, Hoover arrived in person in Jackson and overnight created the biggest FBI field office south of Chicago, replacing the tiny caretaker office that had been kept in the capital city. 50 agents were sent in, and Hoover turned to his ace troubleshooter, a stocky, reliable agent named Roy K. Moore, a 50-year-old native of Oregon, to become Jackson's special agent in charge. Roy K. Moore was born in June 1914. He became a U.S. Marine in 1935 and taught firearms to new special agents at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Moore entered the Bureau in 1938 and graduated with a degree in accounting from the University of Miami, becoming a special agent in 1940. He had several successful posts with the FBI. In 1961, he was made SAC of the Little Rock Division until 1964, when Director Hoover selected him to open the Jackson Division to stem the widespread reign of civil rights terror in the state by the KKK in Mississippi. After some 100 FBI agents were flooded into Neshoba County for 40 days, history now records that the 3 civil rights workers' bodies were finally found buried in a farm pond dam or levee based on a tip. The Moore-led FBI team then put together the entire bizarre Klan plot, complete with names, places, and times of 25 participants, including 2 Neshoba officers. The KKK's White Knights had underestimated the bulldog tenacity and determination of Special Agent Moore to break the back of the terrorist group. Based on his success against the Klan, Moore was promoted to SAC Chicago Division in 1971, and upon his own request, returned to Jackson as SAC in 1973, where he served until his retirement in 1974. Moore married his hometown sweetheart, Wilma Lucille Morgan, in 1936, and they remained married for 58 years until her death in 1994. Mr. Moore died October 12, 2008, at the age of 94. Therefore, in eternal remembrance, we proudly dedicate this building, the James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, Michael Schwerner, and FBI Special Agent Roy K. Moore FBI Building for all time.